to you first the challenger on my right, fighting out of the blue corner. He is wearing gold trunks, fighting out of Freeport, Illinois, as he represents the world-famous Kronk Gym in Detroit. His weight, an even 160 pounds. His record, 27 wins, only 2 losses, with 25 big wins coming by way of knockout. Introducing the former WBO middleweight champion, tonight the challenger known as the G-Man, Gerald McClellan. And his opponent across the ring. On my left, fighting out of the red corner, is one of the great knockout artists in boxing today. He enters the ring wearing white trunks with red and blue trim, hailing from St. Thomas in the U.S. Virgin Islands. He weighed in at a ready 159 pounds. His outstanding record includes 46 wins, only 1 loss, and a tremendous 43 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the former WBA junior middleweight champion, the current defending WBC middleweight champion of the world, Julian "The Hawk" Jackson.
Off the familiar words of referee Mills Lane, we are underway. Round 1 scheduled for 12 for the WBC middleweight championship. Julian Jackson in the white trunks with the red and blue trim, really opening himself up to criticism against Thomas Tate 2 fights ago, winning by tough decision. He showed some weaknesses. As a result, other fighters suddenly quite eager, getting in line to take a crack at the hook. Certainly not the case in the past.
Well, I'll tell you, he is a tremendous puncher, which is
McClellan figures to give him trouble early. I mean, but Julian Jackson starts in a hurry. As you can see, there's nice, good.
There it is, a big right hand. McClellan was waiting with the jab and timing him on the way in. Something we spoke about earlier, using that jab, and bam, the right hand over the top.
McClellan can bang, as we said. You got to look for this guy early. Here he is early.
And Jackson is rocked in the opening minute of the fight. Really a catch-22 sit
back from being hurt. He's hurt, but he comes back, and when he comes back, he's got power. That's very strange, and it's caught McClellan off guard. He didn't expect that kind of power.
Going into tonight's triple header, odds makers gave McClellan the best chance to pull off an upset. Jackson only a 2-1 favorite. Pretty close odds in boxing.
Boy, McClellan's taking chances with leading. Really put some fear into Jackson.
Final seconds, round 1. Terrific round for the challenger, McClellan.
Pointed that out in the corner, and what happened in the corner of Julian Jackson was his corner told him, now start looking for the counter. Now start looking for that counter. Both of us have said here, the counter to that right hand could
seem you get tired prematurely. And also, something that has probably plagued Jackson in the past few fights, he's knocked so many people out so easily that he doesn't pay as much attention to defense.
Oh, 2 good body shots exchanged, one by Jackson, one by McClellan. These guys are not letting.
Jackson told us his right hand, which he injured prior to the February 20th card in Mexico City, is up to par. He's been digging shots, insists he won't hold back. When I mentioned that, McClellan questioned whether the hand was fully healed. Jackson laughed and said, why don't we test it on Gerald's head? But it's been...
McClellan's laid off his jab a little bit, and it's gotten to be a little more chest-like right now, but the big bombs are still coming.
Jackson has kicked it into another gear in the second round, and McClellan has been fighting a retreating fight, almost as if he's picking them apart slowly, little at a time, good body shots, using his jab effectively. Jackson's fighting very well here.
And now lunging shots by Julian Jackson, but not having any effect on McClellan, who comes back strong, but back up to our right.
Well, I don't know if either one of these two guys got anything in mind except survival here, and Gerald is looking scared.
Big right hand by Julian Jackson, sending McClellan back. Now Jackson beginning to open up more and gain confidence.
This is what you call intimidation, and it's all happening to McClellan. He's getting intimidated here.
Well, Jackson's completely turned the tables from the first round, but McClellan also still...
All right, Montel, next up after this one, the WBC Super Lightweight Championship, Chavez versus Terrence Sully. This is round 3. In a most
set up that right hand, and now Jackson winging big shots, gaining confidence as the round goes on.
Jackson's hands are very heavy, and when they land, even though it's off to the side of the head, it hurts, and he's feeling it now. That's what's getting him intimidated.
A solid right, and I'm stronger.
He seems to be a little quicker when he wants to be with that jab. His right hand seems to almost be an equal, but his left hook doesn't, except to the body.
McClellan 27-2, 43 knockouts, two-time world champion.
Oh,
Look out!
what a right hand by Julian Jackson. That's that counter that he was measuring him for, and it landed. You can't just flick an idle jab out there and not expect Julian to come over. And he
And the left hook. We just saw the right, and so did McClellan. That right missed, and a countering left. Also a grazing blow by McClellan. Now lunging rights and uppercuts by Jackson.
Just
unintentional butt is what, and Julian's cut. Unintentional butt, and Julian is cut.
Julian Jackson complaining. There's a big left hand by McClellan. And now McClellan looking to measure Jackson off.
Sometimes those butts get you a little bit dizzy. I wonder if that happened to Julian. He just seemed to stop fighting after that butt and got hit by two hard punches by
another big right hand right on the button.
Gerald McClellan landing with the heavy right. Jackson slips as the bell sounds.
I mean, this is kind of an even fight right now, folks.
There is blood streaking down the bridge of the nose of Julian Jackson. The result of that
Bouncing, that starts to take its toll on your legs as the fight goes on. Jackson still walking slow, methodical, conserving energy.
Julian Jackson trying to get
right on the bridge of the nose, right where the cut is.
Right on the butt.
McClellan continues to land effectively with the right.
The right hand that Julian Jackson's aiming at the body to could take its toll.
ABF 156-pound title after soundly defeating future Olympian Roy Jones Jr. at the '88 Golden Glove semifinals. He was disappointed, though, he was not chosen to compete on the Olympic team.
And you're on the seat of the pants when that happens. Although I must say, McClellan, ever since the butt, has fought with more confidence, like he figures, hey, I can get into this thing, I can win this thing.
Mills Lane just informed us that there's a 1-point deduction for that butt, even if it was unintentional. 1 point off McClellan from back in the third round.
And in a close fight like
Jackson, that connected.
Again, you'll see him dig that right hand to the body, and McClellan comes back with a left hook of his own.
McClellan, as he eluded a punch.
Julian Jackson, low.
That was a big, heavy shot down south.
Another one.
Another one.
And McClellan needs a breather. Mills Lane says as much time.
But the power and the force that you can hit down low there, very sensitive area.
And he needs all the strength he can get and all the fluidity and reflex, and that takes your legs out from under you. Ooh, nice shot by Julian.
As he goes upstairs, no chance of south of there.
Julian got a winner right in.
Down goes Jackson. A left hook by Gerald McClellan almost sent him through the ropes.
He is in serious trouble. His legs are not there. This fight could very well be over right this minute.
And there's a minute left to go.
Can McClellan finish him off? He's down again.
He's not going to make this, Bobby. He's not going to make this. Julian Jackson doesn't
It's
know
over.
that. It's over.
Mills Lane has stopped the fight. And Gerald McClellan has upset Julian Jackson, and he is the new WBC middleweight champion.
Low blow, and you can see the damage of it. Look at that. I mean, that's way below the lettering, and down goes McClellan saying, I just can't continue. This gives him time to recuperate, but it looked like he was weakened when he got up, maybe giving Julian a lot of energy to think he's going to put it out. Now let's watch what happens.
Well, here you come again.
Right.
Straight right hand down the pipe, and it was Ferdy, a lead right hand. Finishing it off with the left hand, and down is Jackson.
Just what he's been trying to land, the right hand landed just like he wanted it. And here's the second one, and by this time it was academic because Julian was gone. That's it. Right there is the end of that.
Again, his legs weren't under him, and his head wasn't clear, and you're not going to respond.
His eyes just weren't, couldn't focus. He was just gone. Mills Lane did the right thing, stopping the fight. after that first knockdown, it was all over his academic, but I think he caught him by surprise. With the right hand, he'd been trying to land all night long, and he landed and followed up with a...
Referee in charge, Mills Lane, stops the contest. The winner by way of technical knockout, and the new WBC middleweight champion of the world, the G-Man, Gerald McClellan.
Championship, the rematch between Gerald McClellan and Julian Jackson. We go up to our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
First, the challenger on my left. He is fighting out of the blue corner. He enters the ring wearing gold trunks with red trim and hailing from St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands. He weighed in at an even 160 pounds, and his record includes 49 wins, only 2 losses, with 45 big wins coming by way of knockout. He is currently ranked the WBC #2 middleweight in the world. Please welcome the knockout artist, who is the former 2-time world champion in the junior middleweight and middleweight divisions. Introducing Julian the Hawk Jackson. Across the ring is the defending champion on my right, fighting out of the red corner. He enters the ring wearing green trunks with white trim, fighting out of Freeport, Illinois. He weighed in at the same weight of an even 160 pounds, and he steps into the ring with a record of 30 wins, only 2 losses, and he has 28 wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight, making his 3rd defense of his title, please welcome the hard-hitting WBC middleweight champion of the world, introducing the G-Man, Gerald McClellan.
The 5th round. Both McClellan and Jackson average under 4 rounds. Here we go, round 1, scheduled for 12 for the WBC middleweight championship. Gerald McClellan with a 5th round knockout over Julian Jackson in the first encounter.
McClellan's come out with a real good jab, and a big right hand.
Right off the bat, Jackson's in dire trouble. McClellan looking to finish him up seconds into the fight. Pummeling Jackson.
I'll tell you what, they're going to stop this if he doesn't offer up a punch. This fight's going to be over.
He should go down and take an 8 count.
I'll tell you, it gets better than getting hit like that.
Relentless attack by McClellan, and finally Jackson going down. Sort of.
4, 5, 6, 7.
The over-under 6 rounds. This might not go a minute. Back comes McClellan.
I'll tell you what McClellan doesn't want to do is get a little overconfident, sloppy, because Jackson can punch.
And down goes Jackson for the 2nd time.
And this time he looks like he's crumpled for good.
He hit him on top of the head on the way down, and I'm telling you, he is totally disoriented.
He looks like he's not going to get up.
He's through. Joe Cortez says it's over. And in the first round, Gerald McClellan has retained his title.
All right, let's take 3 looks. I'm going to take the first one, and Bobby's going to do the other 2 as I go up. There's a punch. That right hand right there. That right hand right there was the quietus. The rest of this is window dressing until he goes down, because he is sure taking some punishment here. That's a brutal attack, although he's hitting a lot of gloves and everything. As Bobby says, some of those hurt as well.
Well, sure, the repercussions travel through the glove. Certainly it's taken away a little bit, but they go through the gloves right into your chin, right into your face. And if it were that easy to just put the gloves up here and say, don't worry about it, knockouts wouldn't happen near as often.
That's true. Well, it's certainly Julian has taken an awful lot of punishment there. I mean, he really, actually, he didn't go down there. He didn't touch anything. He just...
Finisher, he's coming in. He knows that Jackson's hurt. He wants to unload that bomb. Digs a good shot to the body. Watch this shot on top of the head. He hit him in the body. That hurt him more than we thought. And that shot on...
Still champion, the G-Man, Gerald McClellan.
Gerald McClellan continues his impressive knockout rate. He's 31.